right. See if we're gonna play a little game. We're gonna see if Broad Vulture decides to rear his head. Because he claimed that if I streamed after, what is that, 5, 6 p.m. his time, then he wouldn't come. So we're gonna try to go for maybe 40, 50 minutes and see if he manages to show up. And if he does, I'm gonna be very pissed off. And I'll do an entire video about all the times he's let me down in the past because I'm so upset over his activities. Um, but the reason I put up that title, Impeach YouTube, is because I was getting pissed off about. I mean, it's like every other video I do gets demonetized, and it's never, or rather, it is usually due to the title. So we actually have seen the demonetization list where they had Cheney's name as one of the things you couldn't say, Shrek. And I was sitting there, I was like, well, hell, we're gonna get to a point where I just have to start calling these anonymous subject, specify, or their list is so long and lengthy that you can't even be confident of what you put up anymore. Falling under their not suitable for all advertisers thing. It's like, sir, on a vid that only gets like what, 30, 40 views, you're gonna try to screw with me some more. Hey, that's perfectly fine. This is your platform, so I'll just sit back and accept getting bent over and all the wonderful nonsense that goes along with being a part of this website. Man, I'm so glad when I finished the editing for the documentary, I went to sleep about maybe 3 hours later. 2 hours later, it was about 4 or 5 this morning. I'd actually finished the audio for it, so getting all the little pieces I cut out last night, and then I went to sleep and then woke up and then some midnight stuff. Apparently, that's like a thing I do now, sleep in shifts where I'll sleep a little bit in like the 10, 11 o'clock range, and then wake up. It'll be 1 or 2, and then be up for the rest of the, I guess, until the sun comes up. So around 6 or 7, then pass out again. Yeah, it's really interesting because I've actually in the past tried to adjust the sleeping thing, and it's so hard because you're just sitting there. You're like must lay head on pillow. So that's usually what ends up killing that willingness to do that. But the live show yesterday was actually a little bit better than I thought it would be, because I was saying, oh, well, we might have that big group of people again. It really sucks to have such a like a mixed feeling with everything. Like, oh yes, more people show up on the stream. Oh, barely anyone is commenting or they're writing something goofy. So it's just this thing of, well, pick your poison basically. Would you rather have a few people that write some stuff of intellect or a bunch that write all kind of things that you can't even monitor? So I'll go with the former because it's less it's just less annoying. And I really I hate that because in sort of a willingness to maybe at least hear out if someone has a different position, it's like no one can just write what they think without trying to insult someone or go off the deep end or be confrontational. That's why I don't even make comments on other people's stuff anymore, because a lot of times I can say, oh, I like this video, and then someone will go, so you like trash as well. It's like, man, it's not worth going back and forth. um that's why usually if I do comment on something, I don't look to see if it got any replies, because again, I expect the worst from a site where anybody can get on here and do anything crazy or say anything that they want with no repercussion at all, ever. So they're still crying about Syria, by the way. The our great, wonderful, corrupt Senator Menendez, who I probably could do a whole documentary on how corrupt he is. He's really passed some limits. It's usually the financial stuff, but he's on a whole other echelon to where they were seriously thinking of getting rid of him a few years ago. He said that Pompeo lives in an alternate universe with respect to Syria, and it's like, just get over it. We're allegedly withdrawing. You can keep crying all you want. It's like you're the Senate Foreign Relations Chairman or ranking member, and all you can do is sit here and whine about how if the Kurds are abandoned, they're all going to die. People were dying when we were over there. But they do that with every country. Pick a country, and I'll tell you what group they try to say if the U.S. isn't there to protect them, it's going to, all go to hell. Like, in Yemen, right? They the reason they call the Houthis terrorists and these evil people is because they want you to believe that if we don't bomb them for 4 years straight, supposedly, these people are going to go and mess with the regular civilians, even though the worst thing they did was fight back against Saudi Arabia after this oppression broke out during the Obama administration. So it's really just them being, flip floppy and attempting to play the sympathy card. And that's why I said the U.S. It's like the people who live here have this weird thing where they think automatically us getting involved every single time makes stuff better. And it's why when we had that debate, which I still haven't talked about to any full length, because it's so, like, after the first two of those, I just kind of went, yeah, but that's because the third one was so awful. It was like Sanders' voice sucked, and then somebody else had done something stupid where I think it was Warren and someone else going back and forth. So it wasn't good, and it sucks because I remember really liking the second one with Sanders and Warren versus all the moderates and whatnot, because they teamed up. But after that, it's just been like this, just a steadfast decline. But during that debate, you had all these Democrats react to the Syria thing, and the only one who wasn't playing into the hands of all this Syria propaganda that the two parties are doing right now is Gabbard, and that's why because she said regime change war. What why the hell are we over there? Not in those specific terms, but basically the thing that the Democrats want is to have their cake and eat it too. They want to tell you how stupid Trump is for getting out of that conflict. But they don't want to give an established set time of when we should be out of there and have the Kurds protected, because we don't care about that group of people. We're just using them to attack Trump for not wanting to stay over there anymore, which again, he still might do anyway, because this isn't the first time in the last year that he announced he was getting out of Syria and backtracked in December, or rather in February. But these people reacted the same way back then. The Kurds are being abandoned. This is a dangerous and reckless action. And then you ask them, well, when the hell do you think we should leave? No clue. Oh man, it's Paul Vulture. He showed up. I told you I would do it before whatever time you said you couldn't do it. So I kept my part of the bargain. And I was getting very upset that you wouldn't show up. But thank you for confirming that you unsubbed, because if you had, you would have been here within 2 minutes flat. So now we know the truth. You'd rather watch TYT and what's the other one? The other one actually is better, TYT Nation, because they have a consistent host. You'd rather go watch them for your political stuff, and then you want to watch who's somebody that does like and you'd rather. So I've been replaced by TYT and BBS. Those are the two people you watch for everything. I remember when TYT was still starting up. I do too. They were, like if you were there for the I guess the period of the Obama years, so for those 8 years, it was a really nice show. Now it's just MSNBC light, because all they do is talk about Trump. That's why this one guy I remember he took a screenshot of their videos, and it was Trump's face on like 10 videos back to back. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, and they don't seem to get that if I want Trump bashing, I can get that from CNN or MSNBC. I don't need to go online to a group of people who are supposedly the unbought commentators and watch them participate in the same activity. That's why Jimmy's show is so refreshing, because I can actually, like, say for some major foreign policy difference or change, he doesn't usually talk about Trump or really talk about him that often at all. And I find that very welcoming, because there's so much going on in the world that doesn't have anything to do with him, like the French protest, where the French president is basically making people live in his own little neoliberal thing, where he told them to buy some cars and then changed his mind afterward, and people were pissed because nobody can afford to buy multiple cars back to back. The protesters had over 60% approval rating. The yellow vest, it was perfect. Like these are the types of things you never hear on mainstream news. I haven't seen mentioned one time on TYT. It's so nice to get a bit of a difference every now and again. I really should just watch him and like two other people. Jimmy Dore, Jordan. Well, I haven't seen you in a long time. I can't believe I thought you unsubbed and disappeared, like Jimmy Hoffa. like the other Jimmy, the other person with that name. That was my mistake. Imagine somebody actually tried to impeach YouTube. They make another, which actually has happened before. They make another video sharing website, and what ends up happening is that people get really excited for that first or second year and then just disappear. So like with Vimeo and Daily Motion, I at one point people did like the only thing they exist for now is for you to just put stuff up that you wouldn't put on here, which it's kind of weird, but people that's the way they are. They like to have these little backup places to store their stuff, which I do support, but I'd rather see it put in an email or something, just somewhere else besides that, because I think when you've got some unstable website, you don't want to just have it laying around there. Okay, I gravitated towards them because they were more edgy and free to speak their mind. I don't know what they're up to anymore. Last time I remember TYT and Alex Jones were fighting, got the good times. Yeah, at the RNC, that was perfect, man, because it was unplanned. It was a live show, just like this, and then Alex comes up with the Bill Clinton, and then picture of Clinton, and then rapist underneath it. And then Cenk tries to hide, and he's like, "You know who makes this kind of shirt? A sick man." And then Roger Stone comes in the corner. He's like, "You're a sick man, Roger." And then Roger calls him a liar. He's like, "No, you're the world's biggest liar." It's one of my favorite clips ever. Because I remember, like watching it, since you have to have credentials to even be able to get into those conventions at this point. So it's like this thing of, oh man, all the professional people who are in politics go to those conventions, and then something like that happens at the RNC. The same one that where Trump gets nominated, that happens. Envoy says hi. Now I saw you disappear last night, Envoy. So now we've confirmed that you're a member of Teamsters. It's all been proven and corroborated, and you're a descendant of the Hoffa family. We don't know what your first name is. We know your last name is Hoffa. Or if it's not, it's you're like you have some, yeah, because I think he had daughters, so you have a maternal relation to Hoffa. Well, that's probably his great grandpa or something. I don't know. Disappeared just like him. Yeah, I remember they have like a whole series of articles about where his body is. It's just like, who cares? Or the person will not come back even if we find it. Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, I wrote that script about, I think it was on Thursday and Friday, and then recorded it yesterday morning, and then passed out, and then did some other stuff, and then went back and edited, and that was that. If I end up doing one for one of the modern ones, it'll be a little bit more entertaining because you can actually see clips of them and whatnot. So it'll be nice. It'll be spectacular. Hell, I remember I had thought of doing an Obama one. It was like just from the basic draft of that was going to be like 2 hours. So you would get his, early life and education, and being in the Illinois State Senate, then running for senator from Illinois, and then run for president. And after that, would you do this perhaps for? I just said I would. But again, Ruben got to pick because he is, that's his right as like my only patron or something, basically. So I decided I was, that should be the person who gets to decide what the order is or which one next or whatever. Just saying, I just want to give my answer. Let's see. No, I answered before you sent the message. I read your mind. I turned into Professor X. It's funny because I think there was some answer to like one of the chick questions where some guy was saying you have the power to control if some broad likes you, and like, oh, I'm Professor X, I can read her mind and make her think what she doesn't think. Like, you will find me physically attractive. Oh yeah, I have another romance video coming up this week. I can't wait to see that get demonetized too. It'll be perfect. I get that wonderful little yellow little piss sign. It'll be just spectacular, a real treat. Hey, there should be some kind of Halloween special. I remember last year because I was like so happy over the big boost of subs that all came in October. Not last year, the year before last. So yeah, I remember I was thinking of actually having like some costume because I don't do that for any holiday. I haven't or for Halloween. I haven't done that since I was I think in like fifth grade. It's been a long time. So I was contemplating that, but then I said no, screw it. I'll just answer some stuff and show off some candy corn. That'll be a good idea. Let's see. Amos says Trump's words bring them home. Trump's actions send them to Iraq. Uh, that's actually kind of funny because I was saying that all the Republicans in the House and the Senate, even if they're anti-war, they do this. They do this like double speak thing, like Rand Paul and Thomas Massey, where like they're committed to anti-war positions, but because they don't want to ever appear to go against Trump, they try to say he's anti-war as well, even if his actual record of such as bombing the same 7 countries as his immediate predecessor, do not align. It really is pretty funny because when I read their stuff, I actually feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone due to the fact that it is a fact that these 7 wars are still going on, and you're telling me, oh, the person who's bombing them really wants to get out of them. Well, it's been 3 years. If he's not going to get out now, when? In another, 4, 5, when Pence takes over? Oh, man, that's like the doomsday scenario that we were predicting that Trump gets 2 terms, then Pence gets 1 term, and that's when the Democrats finally get the you know the presidency back. Let's see. Roman King says Trump has the wrapped has the wrapped around his party, or does global affairs have him jaded in thinking he does? Oh, oh. I mean, yeah, the party like they don't want to lose votes, so they're never going to critique him. Like the reason they're so freaked out over Syria is because they're going to lose money. They're donors. That's why they're finally showing some courageousness. Other than that, you won't see them go out. Like the only time you ever see them go after Trump on anything is when he wants to get out of a war. That they did this same exact routine in December. I actually have a collection of videos that I can play for you that were in direct response to this announcement. There's including a speech that Graham, so the senator from South Carolina, that he gave, where he was talking about how this was a dumb decision, that we shouldn't be doing this. You go in the comment section, you got the Trump supporters going, looks like Graham is beating the war drum again. And I'm thinking to myself, you idiots haven't realized that Trump's been beating it since the day he took office. Like you're now anti-war. That's why I said I can't take these people seriously because oh my God, they play for both sides. They switch their position when he switches their position. He could come out for single payer tomorrow. Oh my God, I am too. They don't know what the hell they want other than to blindly be devoted to him. Cash rules everything around America anyways. No surprise he'd do anything to keep it. Well, no, in the case of the Syria thing, that is not keeping money. Being in that war assists them with their finances because defense contractors pay Congress to stay over there. So when he says I'm getting out, defense contractors go, hey, you know what? If he pulls out, we're not going to pull out our wallets for you boys anymore. They go, oh my God, got to do something. Of course, Roman, cash rules everything around the world. I mean, hey, remember they're crying over the 50,000 that what is it Hunter got from being in Ukraine, as opposed to I think Trump had $1 million deal with the Saudis. It was something, but when I heard about it, it sounded so crazy because it's like, how the hell does he get this huge 6-digit at least sum of money with these people? And the Democrats are so dumb they won't even bring it up. Let's see. Do you think America will ever stop relying on war so hard? What is this so heavily? Yeah, if we get rid of Citizens United and actually monitor who these people are getting money from. It's kind of like the gun thing. I said the reason you don't see anything done about that is because the NRA, And it's like, I have to keep explaining that doesn't mean that all the Republicans are going to start suddenly supporting, gun restrictions or whatever. But it does mean that if you get rid of a financial incentive for them to vote against every single new law you might have with this, then they might start wanting to do something. Because the NRA actually, its members support, like background checks, which is not the biggest, most expansive thing to do, but it's still something. And then the people at the top, like Wayne Pierre, they don't like any of it. They'll he called up Trump and said, "Hey, yeah, do not do that." So that's pretty much when it'll eventually end. Whenever you get rid of the corruption, which again is in both parties. So the Senate and the House can flip red and blue as many times as you want until the cows come home, and we're still gonna have the same policies. It's like we've had Democratic and Republican control both the House and Senate in the last 18 years, and yet we're still in Afghanistan, and people want to tell me the parties are different. That's how goofy they are, man. People. And then I told you, I used to, when I was on Twitter, I genuinely thought I could speak to these people like they actually had some brains in their heads, and it was just like, it was a bunch of people trying to debate. It was people trying to obfuscate from reality. I wasn't interested in that because it didn't. I didn't find it that appealing. If you were to live in another country, which country do you think would be that aligns with your political beliefs? Well, I've said before that if I didn't think I don't want to say influence in the U.S. would be like eventually get bigger if I just kept, I guess, participating in people's campaigns and whatnot, I would move to somewhere else in a heartbeat. I would probably go to Sweden or Denmark. And I guess the Canada and the UK, they're like one of those four probably. And that's not even because of the like I can deal with the political stuff not going the way I want. There's a lot of like public health issues over here, like the daily mass shootings, the 78% of people that live paycheck to paycheck, the 40% of the homeless that have jobs and still live in a box somewhere. It's there's a lot of issues that I really think at some point are going to affect someone that I care about or like, which would be very unpleasant. And it's unpleasant when it affects anyone. It's just the more it spreads, the higher the chances are of it eventually coming in contact with you. It's just like when people go, "Oh, if you just go to another country, you can find a woman like that." It's like, yeah, well, no one is going to travel somewhere for a few days and just magically stumble across some broad that they instantly fall in love with and want to bring back with them and whatnot. Roman says the American government is just disappointing to be linked to, especially as a first world country. Yeah, it has a lot of, I mean, dude, if you go to Chicago, it's like the wild, wild west. And I'm like, that's why they call it Chirac. It really, when you get to the number of deaths that are brought on by the people towards each other, it's like a almost a cartoony version of something out of the Middle East. Like it's like playing in real life a level of Gears of War, but with people wearing regular clothes and whatnot. It's really insane. Okay, CK says, I like the premise of the functional beliefs of the United States of America, liberty, freedom of speech, equality, just has become oblique in its course. Uh, Roman says, let's stick with the politics, no romance today. Oh, Roman's over here making demands. Well, I'm just giving an example of I mean, whatever. I'm just giving an example of how people like to, when they speak about the benefits of other countries. That's one of the things they bring up. No romance today. Imagine like at the end of the stream, Roman hears a knock on his door and it's some flowers and they get delivered to him like, and then like it was from me, and he's like, oh, he's so flattered. It's like I know you said no romance on the stream, but you didn't say it outside of it. That's on the assumption that Roman is a chick, which I doubt, but it would be funny. Let's see. I'm not even American as well. LOL. Okay, Roman says the biggest fear known to man. And CK is laughing at something else. He's having a good old grand time. He's probably watching Saturday Night Live. Oh, here we go with that term again. Jesus Christ, man. There's so many people from that group that come over here. At least you're not asking me if I'm one, because I get tired of that. So I'm a grown man. What the hell do I look like sitting on some forum talking to some boys about some broads all day? They go over there. I saw them. They be over there writing paragraphs. Yeah, I had a feeling because they don't usually say if they are. They just it's funny. They're on that forum, but then they say they're not. It's in the case of some of them, it's really amusing. Okay, I can see Envoy disappeared again. So goodbye. See you later. He decided to not show up. Raw Vulture actually, I caught him. He thought he'd be slick. He could leave a few comments at the beginning and then disappear, and then nobody would notice. He's like that one kid at school that sits in the like all the way in the back, and trying to be hooky, right? So they answer a question at the start of it, and then the teacher turns around, he speeds out like Sonic, he turns to a little ball and just zoops right out of there. Let's see. I don't disappear. I'm listening. Now I know what you did. You're over there trying to Google if you're go on ancestry.com and find out if you and Hop are really related. Switching platforms. I have no intention to do that. I mean, it's like if you can barely get views on YouTube, you sure as hell are going to get even worse on Vimeo and other websites and whatnot. I guess I can ask for Discord link. Oh, let me pull that up. Give me a second. I'm supposed to kill that server. We're supposed to have its funeral next week, or at some point. Nothing's even happening in there. Tuning into the God, I don't even bother with this place anymore. I'm so done. White people, grab this little link. It expires in a day. I'll be still the one of the few people that actually is doing something consistently. All right, there you go, Raw Vulture. So you can click that and appear in there, and then you can get roasted by whoever who's in there. Some set of people. You can be the 7th member of the Discord crew. So what's the update on Yang? Oh, I actually have a series of stuff I recorded. I'll put it up over this week. It's like there's 2 goofy editorials that people wrote, and then there's I'm gonna see if I can like react to his stuff from the debate, because that's what his supporters are here for. If you talk about anybody else, they ignore you. Pacman actually did a segment about how there were channels that for Sanders, so 3 years ago, that defended every single thing he did, no matter what it was. And I thought that was crazy when I watched it, because I couldn't remember seeing any of those. And like literally, I'm seeing those for him, for Yang, for Gabbard. I was like, wow, they really have people who are like pseudo campaign spokesmen. Oh, Yang did good yesterday. He did great. So did Sanders. So imagine if I did that, where every time I did something on these people, it's like just praise with no critique of anything ever. Like I come on here, got to tell you about Sanders, rubber tub. I got like a little basket of chicken in front of me. Oh my God, you would think I was bought up by them so quickly. Okay, let's see. Is Bernie cleared from his health scare? Yeah, yeah, he did a big rally yesterday. Where were you, Roman? That was a huge thing. I'm one of the OGs on the town and ain't even there. I couldn't believe it. Well, you would rather be in the Jimmy Hoffa Discord than mine. I appreciate it, Raw Vulture. I worked very hard. I compiled a script and tried to, have some interludes and, give my own little commentary, as they do in a lot of those documentaries. They have people that are supposedly historians who come in there and say things that speak about the issue. Living under a rock, LOL. Yeah, apparently. Well, I don't know what sometimes people are busy and they don't see every news story. That the same thing actually happened with Astro on the live show from last week. Where at the start, oh, what happened? It's like, well, hold on, let me log on to my stuff. B Still says Yang is still around. I thought the dude had already been elected president. I donated to him 6,000 times. Let's see. I was hoping. Jesus Christ, man. Look, Be Still. If you don't, even if you don't like these people, we don't need them to be deceased. We just hope they don't get elected, and that's it. I didn't like the fact that Trump was the nominee. I thought it should have been Rand Paul, but I didn't hope that something happened to him because I'm not evil. Same thing with Hillary. If they just sit in their own little non-power bubble, I couldn't care less. Let's see, if I'm not binge watching shows or doing college work. Yeah. Again, it's fine. That's why I gave the explanation. I answered your question. It's like a press conference. I would love to actually rent out somewhere, just be like at a podium while streaming, like sitting there with the little with some papers and whatnot. Like, yeah, this happened yesterday, and we have an announcement to make, and all this stuff. Well, the tension over this side of them is too severe for me to wish them well. This side of what? Side of town is too. Oh, well, I mean, isn't that the fault of the people that live there? It's more than politics. People lives are hardly are handling in the balance, are hanging in the balance. CK says American politics is really entertaining. Oh, okay, that's why I got into it as much as I am. I mean, like the same way I've said this before, the same way people are into sports, I'm into politics. I'm always like, oh man, is this person going to get elected? Oh, is this going to happen? It's I'd be lying if I said it's about the effectiveness of helping people's lives. That's a big part of it. But the other thing is a lot of it is amusing. Like that one senator that when he gave a speech, it was about 20 years ago. He got so caught for dead time during his filibuster, which is those massive, huge speeches. He started reading the phone book. He took out the yellow pages. Like, oh, this person's name is da 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 da, and their phone number is blank, blank, blank. American politics is political theater. The only thing is needed is popcorn and pizza. Unless you're gonna say popcorn and Coke or some other surely we're gonna have some drink with the popcorn. I don't want to get a dry mouth or anything. To do a stream in his suit, that would be cool. I'll do a stream in any suit. I'm saying it at a podium, like an actual press conference, and like get some guys to hold cameras and everybody's taking pictures and you're a bunch of clicks in the background. Water. No, you can't have water with popcorn. You're supposed to be entertainment. You're supposed to get some equally junky drink to go along with the meal. What is Impeach YouTube? Well, I'm gonna impeach my sub, so I'm gonna impeach Mark first. I'm gonna click this new feature that says impeach, and then Mark is gonna disappear. He's gonna get removed, just like whoever the impeached president is that gets removed from office for the first time ever, if that ever happens. Okay, someone wrote something that, okay, Mark said, hey, what's up? And I didn't acknowledge him. By the way, who are you guys most likely to vote for in 2020? I already said I got 3 of them. It's Sanders, Yang, and Gabbard. But the thing is, I've had some people say, well, Gabbard's waffling on single payer, so you should reconsider Warren. I said, even with that, like, let's take healthcare out of this. She still is crappy on foreign policy. Voted for the different defense military budgets. I just I don't. My point is she's still below Gabbard, even if Gabbard's been pissing me off with some of the stuff recently. And Gabbard just got a bigger bump in popularity over getting attacked by Clinton. Like, Clinton is so dumb, she doesn't realize that's literally like a lot of times we draw these parallels between people who are running and people who have won. This is literally a Democratic version of what Romney did to Trump. Remember that speech Romney gave in March of like 3 years ago? And it was like this unprecedented attack by a former nominee on some other person running in the primary, that's the same kind of thing she did. She might as well have been on a podium. It literally reminds me exactly of that. So she's definitely going to get some more support thanks to stupid Hillary deciding to go and say something dumb and reassure all of us that they're now on the same team. It's really perfect. She couldn't have done it at a better time. Right as I was getting a little annoyed with her, here comes Madam Idiot to Madam I know how to lose an election with 3 million more votes than the other guy to pop up and help her out. Really fantastic. So perfect. Oh, somebody left. They didn't appreciate. Somebody was really sad that Hillary got insulted, so they decided to disappear. Get some state beer. What is that? Slate beer or stale beer? Okay, I messed it up 3 times. I feel that's why Sky said that I was ghetto and couldn't complete a full sentence and aggressive. He was correct about all of it. So that was another example of me being ghetto and unable to complete basic and full sentences. He really accurately depicted me. He could tell from the first time he saw me that I was poorly educated, and I was without cognitive thinking, critical thinking skills, and any cognitive ability. No, Roman, it's not what you think. That's just a joke we have because he said that about like when you talk about a group of people and then there are those who aren't that and they take offense with it. It's a parody of that where he was talking about other people and then I was like, oh, so you must mean me. Well, I'm so flattered, CK. Yeah, Sky changed his name to Brian to try to trick us, but it doesn't work. Okay, let's see. Jordan disappeared. Who else disappeared? We're gonna do like a roll call. I think he's the only one that popped out of here. He went to go watch TYT to get an. No, he went to go watch Fox News to get an informed analysis of the Syria withdrawal. Let's see. It must have been an attempt of personal attack. No, it was he was making a like general statement about some group of people, and I made the joke that he was saying it about me. So that's like a little thing I tease him with. It's like a little running gag. But I always make sure to explain it for those who didn't see it because I don't want him to be, accused of being some big bully or whatever. Jesus, man, it's like these people actually sit here and they have an entire like group of like I was just watching Fox yesterday. Some of their commentators. It's literally everyone that comes on there. This is bad. This is bad. We got to stay in there. We got to stay there. What's the news in? What's the news? Oh, you got me confused because you spelled her first name wrong. Oh, damn it. I just remembered there's an article that was great that someone did about. So I was going to do a video and it was going to be called, I don't know if I'm still going to do it while I'm telling you this. It was going to be called, Why Did Kamala Harris's Debate Performance Suck So Hard? And it would be because this person wrote this article, which I'm actually going to link here. Give me a second to grab it. Damn it. Well, the news with AOC is that she, oh crap! I took the, oh, I feel so ignorant. Oh, that's the title of it. Let me give you the link. It's my mistake. Clicked it prematurely. All right, there it is, Roman. So yeah, this person, the whole article on why her debate performance was awful, or pathetic as they called it. I was going to do a video on it, but I don't know if I'm still going to do it. It was really funny because I watched that, like every single debate performance she's had after the first one has been either subpar like the second or garbage like the third and fourth. Like your main stance as a top tier presidential candidate is get the president off of a stupid social media website that doesn't even matter. And then what did she say that in the third one, that Trump was tweeting out the ammunition or some trash? And her tone was so, I mean, it was rehearsed as hell. Because the thing about a lot of these, and this is something Obama did as well, when these what's a term for them? I'll just say it. These higher ranking black officials are so out of touch that they can't speak like they usually speak. So they try to do this thing where they put this accent in their voice. I'm serious. If you like, they think that the rest of us don't know what they sound like regularly, so they try to go when they go up before what they think is a crowd of us, do this thing of saying, well, I personally, it's like, no, just speak like a regular human being. If you watch that third debate and you see the part where she says tweeting out the ammunition, you can hear her voice change to try and appeal to the people that she think, whatever ethnic group she thinks is talking to. And it's so stupid. I really hate that. It's because it's like the most condescending thing in the world. Like, do you not know that there's an internet where we can watch you talk like a regular person to these other people? And I said black officials because I haven't seen anybody else do it. I haven't seen Biden do it. I haven't seen Sanders do it. I haven't seen Warren do it. It's always one of them that does that for some reason. I shouldn't say one because to be fair, I haven't seen Booker do it. So it's just her and Obama that I've seen do it. It's really annoying. I think AOC even got caught doing it, changing her voice to some conventions thing. I don't know why. That's really dumb. Speak to everybody the same way, the same terms and pronunciation and all the other things that go along with it. That's unnecessary. The hell I look like sitting there talking like this when that's not even how I sound. And it's not how I sound because you can go online and see me speak in my regular tone of voice. So it's even dumber to try to pretend to be that way. If Envoy is still here, I was going to tell him that, where is Ruben, man? He must have really enjoyed that documentary. He's probably watching it for the 8th time. But to Envoy, I was going to say that for if I do another one, it's just me having to sit down and get to writing it out. Oh no, Ruben, say it ain't so. You haven't watched it? Yeah, CK, why so? I'm gonna read it. Why so frustrated on a single Twitter account? Because she's trying to grandstand. So, like when Warren was talking about antitrust laws and breaking up the, I just got here. All right, well, I didn't know, but when Warren was talking about breaking up these big tech companies, Harris tried to lump suspending Trump's Twitter account with that. Now, the only thing I would recommend they do, because they were like, oh, sometimes he threatens war on Twitter, they could put the tweet as being restricted. So you can still view it if you want. They just have to where regular people who don't have accounts can't see it because it's literally a threat. But don't get rid of him. That's dumb. That's why, like I said, they shouldn't have gotten rid of Alex Jones. They shouldn't have gotten rid of Daniel McAdams. They shouldn't have gotten rid of me. But, I'm not as popular as other two. So I get yanked, doesn't matter. They shouldn't have gotten rid of Laura Loomer. You can just go down the list. All the different people they got rid of just because they felt like it. She wanted Roman says she wanted Trump's account on Twitter deleted. Wow, that's pitiful argument to support her campaign. Yeah, vote for Harris and Trump's Twitter account will go down. It's like I don't care if he tweets a 1,000 times a day. It doesn't matter. Has nothing to do with policy, so I don't care. Let's see, LOL, completely, ooh, bad word. This was a presidential debate. No, it was a sideshow. Okay, who screwed up this time? Warren, no, Harris. I remember Ruben, you saw a debate where she said, Warren, will you support me in calling for Trump's Twitter account to be suspended? It's like you're one of 12 people. You're running for the highest office in the land on this debate. And you want to sit here and cry a foul over a Twitter account. That's what you use this to do? Really? Okay. It seems like they're just trying to create Trump outrage without addressing his policy, especially the foreign policy. Yeah, that's why that Sirius segment had me wanting to vomit because they all sounded the same except for Gabbard. It's like I said, I like all this stuff about the Kurds. They're only bringing them up to use them to try and stay over there. Let's see. Dude, need to go. Yeah. Well, that's more. And you, dude, and the other thing is, she doesn't talk that way. So she said the same thing in the last debate that he reminds her of Wizard of Oz, the guy between the little dude with, and it's her trying to sound more hip to try and acquiesce to these young voters. It's all a farce. You don't see Sanders talk that way. You don't see, again, Biden or Warren talk because they don't need to. Well, Biden tried to a little bit, but point is, she's doing stuff that is ridiculous in the belief that it'll somehow make her more popular. God, I'm so embarrassed, man. Like, that's not only is that one of the only few candidates of my ethnicity running, but it's also the one of my senator from my state running. God, it's like it all came together to screw me over. Ruben says all the resistance people are getting scarier, and the left wing people are addressing their alliance with Crystal and the other Never Trump Republicans. Well, now the only good thing is they're all sounding the same on purpose now, or at least they're all sounding the same to where more people are going to wake up to that. Let's see what just happened. Oh my God, it's Vulture. Well, I appreciate you putting that in there because I'm certainly gonna. I didn't even know Alva would jump in. Wow. Okay, great. So I'll probably I might still do that video. I don't know. It just depends. Maybe I'll do for tomorrow's stream. I can play the clips of her speaking and then play and then read the article after that. Because she went from a top tier person to just a bottom below the barrel piece of garbage within the end of July to now. It's a really quick decline. Like if you had looked at her campaign from June, so after that first debate, to now, you would think it's two different people. Let's see, all the resistance. Okay, no new comments, so I'll just sit here and smile at the camera until somebody writes something else. I'll just give a nice little stare and sit there and look and gawk and whatnot. But I actually was really amused by the rhetoric that they're using about Syria, because they're trying to they really have made it sound, the people have actually forgotten Trump said we were getting out of there back in December. And that's why I said that it feels like in politics people have no memory of stuff. Like the Epstein stuff doesn't get mentioned anymore. The what was that? The caravan that was supposed to be coming here during the midterms that suddenly evaporated after the midterms was over, disappeared. The fact that Trump said on video, if we have a shutdown, he'll take responsibility for it, and then proceed to blame the Democrats, gets completely ignored. Like, what the hell world are we living in? People have no attention span at all, man. She tried it. Oh well, better luck next time with her. Oh yeah, I think she'll run again. Same thing with all the Cruz, Rubio, they're all going to try a second time. They're just biding their time. They're trying to kiss some Trump booty for 8 years before they can initiate another campaign. TYT and the other supposedly anti-establishment outlets are completely ignoring what the resistance and Never Trump Republicans say, unless they insult Bernie, AOC, or Omar. Don't forget Tulsi. She gets insulted by both parties as well. And anti-war stuff, man, it makes you an enemy of the people. The people in Washington, they will, them and their strategists and their little clique of individuals, they multiply like gnats, man. They just go on TV smearing you every day. Anyone who wants to bring a genuine change to the U.S. gets smeared. It's really pathetic. Because what ends up happening is that if that change happens anyway, so like with the Martin Luther King thing, how all these people sit here and worship him on Martin Luther King Day, but then you look at his life and you look at the stuff people said about him. It's that same thing where you get vindicated by history. Now they have to accept that you're a liked person and pretend they love you so much and all this jazz. I always wondered, do people exaggerate how evil the Republican Party is? I don't see them as evil. I see them the same way I see the Democrats. They're a group of pricks who have a couple of principled or decent voting members. But for the most part, they're just there to make money and by whatever position they have. Just like the Democrats. That's why I'm not part of either party. But see, that enables me to not get so sidelined by the oh my God, look at what the evil Republicans are doing. Because I've seen Jank on TYT do that a lot of times, especially in the last 3 years, and it doesn't work for me because I mean, we already hold them to a lesser standard. So it's not some big, huge shock when they do something that pisses us off anymore. That's either fire. That's either fine or ignore when Tulsi gets involved. And so they're either fine or ignore when Tulsi gets insulted. That's why I didn't bring her up. Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, I thought maybe you forgot about it in that brief moment. It's YouTube doesn't really let you write big comments where you can mention all the people that get smeared. I mean, you already know that they were doing the same thing to Gravel. Oh my God, he's friends with 9/11 truthers. So, yeah, so that means he's like all those stuff. I think certain Democrats and Republicans are evil. Yeah, but I'm saying that I think the majority of both parties is just a bunch of people looking out for their jobs and money, and if they have to bomb some little kids for no reason, they'll do it to ensure their profits, and that's why. Like every time they get up there and they talk about all this virtuous stuff in America, I just want to bomb it because I know how these people vote and what they support. And the average voter who just sits here and turns on the cable, has no idea. It's not because they're stupid; they won't do the research. Let's see. The Americans will only elect a great candidate when the ruptures happens. Well, you got to get past the corrupt primaries to like. It's not just the people, man. Like with Sanders, right? 13 million votes. So that proves there's a big, including myself, a big group of people who weren't stupid who said, we actually see someone who wants to change stuff. So let's put that person in office. And then he doesn't get there because DNC screws him over. And this is something that even people who didn't vote in the primary, like the RNC chairwoman, like Dana Rohrabacher, the former congressman, these are people who are Republicans who admitted Sanders got screwed, and they say that's the only corruption we had in that election cycle, which it wasn't, but it was I would argue the biggest thing where, it's like you have an entire party say, we don't care what people want, we're going to go out of our way to make sure this man doesn't win our primary. I mean, they just repeat whatever resistance trash say now, until they insult Bernie. Then they refute them that one time and say, see, I'm a real progressive, and then immediately go back to repeating resistance talking points. Yeah, that's why I said that Buddha trash and Klobuchar or Kloba crap sound identical to Republicans on healthcare. Oh my God, you're going to kick all these people off their insurance, and it's going to cost trillions of dollars, and how will it ever be paid for? So I get what you're saying. That's my new catchphrase. I get what you're saying. I understand. Doesn't the disappointment of frustrating political news ever stress you out, especially when it's all about people who don't care to change the country for the better? Well, that's mainly when we have something that comes up for a vote. So, for example, I believe it was January. It was December when the Yemen bill failed because 5 Democrats voted against it, and I know who each one of them is. I have a list of them in the little not secret list, but I have a little list of them that I keep because I want to make sure those people don't. And they probably will get another term, but I always will remember that as their worst vote ever. But that pissed me off, and I was annoyed by that. But I said, you know what, Democrats are going to take over Congress soon. Doesn't matter. Then we get that same bill to pass in the Senate and House, and I go yes, and I go wait a second. Oh yeah, Republican president. So it gets vetoed. I roll my eyes. I said, no, you know what? I'm not even surprised. So these more innocent people will die, and I won't feel bad because hey, I supported getting out of there, and I did everything I could to get out of there. But did that dirt guy tell you what he thought about AOC endorsing Bernie? He hasn't been here, Ruben. I haven't seen him in some weeks. Dirk was one of my main people. Then he just disappeared. That dirt guy. We know Dirk is actually. We know who he is. He's AOC's boyfriend. I can't remember what his name is, but that's who that person is. Let's see. Did I miss anything? No, I didn't. What was I gonna ask? I'm trying to think. There was something else I was gonna say, but I forgot that it just vanished. It completely disappeared. I feel so ignorant. Just like Sky said, I had this thing thought up and then it just went away. Um, damn it! I can't recall. I got early Alzheimer's. We're just gonna sit here and stare at each other. But yeah, that was a joke we had that Dirk was AOC's boyfriend, and I would keep saying that before we actually knew what the guy's name was. So now I say the guy is him. That they're actually the same person. His secret identity was revealed. Let's see. Yeah, restrict the tweets if people want to complain about the. Yeah, well, that's why I don't understand if the tweets are so bad, just put a restriction on. You don't need to get them off the website because that's always a dangerous thing when you try to censor. It's like with the demonetization thing, right? I can put in my title, I don't know, go lay down with a prostitute, and then I can speak in an eloquent manner, not even use that word in the video itself, and then still get demonetized. So it's when you have those restrictions in place, it becomes a slippery slope of what stuff can be said and what can't. Censoring the speech is definitely a big no. Yeah, well, that's what she's advocating for. So people are going to keep on, and they do it to themselves. And it's like, how do you sit here and make suspending the president off of Twitter a main campaign issue, and then still have thousands of people who want to vote for you? That's why I said this is like politics is crazy. Like in a just world, people would say, "Oh my God, this lady wants to limit our speech," and then like somebody in my state could run against her for a Senate seat in what is that 3 years, and get her out of office. But they won't do that because well, first the low name recognition and the fact that they're just not that organized. They tend to forget things very quickly. Okay, especially to these radical conservative liberals or egalitarians to be exact. CK says such things explicitly leads to an exertion of the so and so website. Oh, of the so and so web, so people can barely say anything if that happens. But yeah, Ruben, I told you yesterday in the stream that it pisses me off how we don't like many members of Congress that are worth a damn and should be remembered like get no kind of attention at all. So I actually did try to put a little bit of stuff about some people that are worth, because the radical Republicans are easily among my favorite Congress members ever, especially the two that led the charge. Uh, so I put some stuff about them in there toward the part where they're around during the Johnson presidency. Let's see, but we have a Nazi in the White House. Where I mean, I don't see. The only anti-Semitic thing Trump ever said was saying that if you vote for the Democrats, you have a dual loyalty or there's something wrong with you. That's anti-Semitic. Because I've never would tell any religious group not to vote for one party or the other. It's pretty insane. Right? Don't get me started on this on the whiners like we don't have to tolerate your rhetoric either. Yeah, we don't have to put up with them. That's why I said if people don't like stuff, they don't like on Fox, right? If they have an interview with someone I don't like, I don't watch it. I change the channel. It's not hard to do that, man. And it's like the people were saying, "Oh, you can't ignore Trump; he's the president." But you don't have to watch his speeches. You can go and read an article about it. Let's see. So people really discriminatory toward Jews. Are people really discriminatory toward Jews? It's very neutral. Yeah, I don't really see people messing with them is the crazy part. It's just Trump made a dumb comment and they're trying to use the anti-Semitism thing on anybody that talks about the state of Israel. So it's more, and like I said, it's weird because regular people I've spoken to that I've just interacted with, right? They always say, I get where you're coming from. They don't call me anti-Semitic for saying the Israeli government is a piece of garbage, which it is. Somewhat because they believe they hold all the economic power. Ruben says Trump is the most pro-Israel president that we've ever had. Yeah, but not that doesn't mean pro-Jew. It means pro the state of Israel, like its government and whatnot. So it's uh it's really weird when they call him a Nazi. That I don't understand, but their people are strange. Say weird stuff all the time. Um, Who else would be? Oh, Ruben, what would you think of a McConnell documentary? Because McConnell's been in the Senate for 30 years and got like his big startup during this time period. Or rather, like over the last 10 years, he's gotten like when did he become Senate leader for the Republicans? I think it was like 2007. So he's been in that office for over a decade, and it seems like a good enough. I guess the only problem with that is I would want to see if he wins make one about him and his wife. Oh, like a dual documentary on both of them. It would be called "Scammers in Washington." Mitch and Cho. I mean, Roman, you voted for Romney in the 2012 election. I'm even looking at a copy of your ballot right here. What's your guys' opinion on operating, and have you guys ever been involved in political groups? On organizing. Oh, okay. No, the only major like I've had Justice Democrats meetings or whatever, and not in like actually meeting with them in public, but they do calls and stuff. I thought Romney was currently he is the senator from Utah. He was sitting up there giving a speech about we can't abandon the Kurds, the Kurds. Trying to make us all fearful of what will happen to them if the U.S. isn't there to protect them. I can't take it seriously anymore. People are so goofy. It's not really anything worth bothering with. He's going to be out of there in like 2 terms anyway. So and we'll just have another goofy senator after that because Utah is a bleeding red state. No, but I remember in middle school I voted McCain, and even student that was their claim that I hated. Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah, again, people have a herd mentality, so they go after you in ridiculous ways for doing stuff they themselves would never do. I mean, I even had one person who went after me for liking politics, and then somebody else said, "Oh, you can't make fun of them for this stuff." They're like, "No, no, no, no. I can respect people not being into this stuff to the degree that I am. That happens. But what I can't respect is being assaulted verbally for who I am, and then being told to accept somebody for who they are. That's not going to happen. You either you get what you gave. That's why I say that phrase. You respect me, you get respect. If you disrespect me, you get disrespected. Mm. I am invited to participate in the comment group. Declined, of course, because I was uneducated in the manner. That's dabbling in identity politics. Um. Oh, there. Oh, that was what the group was about. I was trying to figure out like, what is this group's topic? All right, are we reaching the tail end of this? Because I'm getting a little tired. Uh, anyone have anything left to say? Statements, comments, positions, opinions. Some extreme liberal and feminist rhetoric to me can't say mean stuff about then, but they talk about it all day. How backwards is that? All right, Ruben said no, so thank you to the multiple people who showed up. I will do a stream tomorrow. I just got sick and tired of it. All right, well, King, I feel bad for that, but I'm about to get out of here. So thanks for showing up. I will. Nah, bro, Vulture, we know what you did. You went and disappeared. We caught you. We saw you walk out of here with your. You got paid by Big Pharma to not listen to me advocate for why we need single payer healthcare. So we know where Vulture goes, and we know where Envoy goes. They've been exposed. They've been revealed to where they disappeared to. Well, look, I'll do some tomorrow, and I'll put some stuff up throughout the week, and then we can, you know how it goes now. So see you later. Have a good rest of your wonderful Sunday, and make sure to protect the Kurds, because if you don't, who else will?